All right, guys, welcome back again to the channel. So, former Super Eagles head coach Gernot Rohr, who happens to be the current coach of the Benin Republic side, has come out to call on FIFA to take action concerning the 3 points deduction that we expect, to be made on South Africa for fielding an ineligible player back, I think, a couple months, maybe 2 months ago, when they played Lesotho in the qualifying series, and then fielded Mokoena, who was supposed to be out due to accumulating, some yellow cards. And, just like every one of us, we've obviously waited for a very long time for that to happen, but it feels like FIFA are not even taking, they are not taking it serious. They're not taking African World Cup qualifying um, tournaments seriously enough to look into these cases in the group and try and sort them out very quickly. And it's very important for this to be sorted out, because if you look at the group, it still remains the same. South Africa having that advantage with 13 points, and then the second place Rwanda 8 points. Benin Republic, who's also the team that coach Gernot Rohr coaches, in the eighth position. Nigeria in the third position with 8 points. Nigeria in fourth with 7 points. Lesotho fifth with 6 points. Zimbabwe last with 4 points. So the group is not looking updated because of this rule that South Africa broke, and they're supposed to lose some points and return to 10 points, from 13. And this is obviously affecting all of the other teams, which is why Coach Gernot Rohr has come out to talk about it and maybe put pressure on FIFA, for them to act quickly and let every other country in this group know what their fate is, because the qualifiers is coming up very shortly in September. I think first week of September. We already have a game to play um, against Rwanda for Nigeria, and then I think on the 9th we have against South Africa. So it's really important for this to be sorted out so that these countries will know their fate. They will, weigh their chances and see how feasible it is to actually catch up to the top, because obviously John Roy is not making this inquiry. He's not calling out FIFA for Nigeria's sake, or because he loves Nigeria, or because he had coached us before. He's calling it for his own sake and for his country's sake, Benin Republic, the country that he coaches. So that is what the man has said now. In his own words, he said, "I'm calling on FIFA to make themselves clear on the point situation in our 2026 FIFA World Cup qualifying groups, as South Africa used an ineligible player in a World Cup qualifier, which means they must lose 3 points and 3 goals to the opponent of the said match. With the remaining qualifiers set to begin soon, it is imperative, in the interest of fair play, for all the team in our World Cup qualifying group to know where they legitimately stand before we start to play in the next matches. I'm surprised that FIFA is taking too long to resolve what is a very straightforward matter. It should and must be resolved without further delay." That is what this coach has come out to say, and I'm very glad that at least someone of Gernot Rohr's caliber has come out to mount pressure on FIFA concerning this issue, because I've talked about that a lot on this channel. I've seen a lot of other sports journalists as well talk about this, and uh, it's now becoming like a laughing stock, especially since after talking about it, and at the end of the day, FIFA will not take any action. But we are going to wait for a couple more days and see what action FIFA will take based on what General has now said. But let's move forward beyond that, guys. And of course, there's a little bit of the concerning Ademola Lookman. It's not looking nice, as I said in the previous video where I talked about him. He has missed a couple of trainings. Right now, it's been up to 7 days, that he hasn't showed up, because throughout last week, he didn't really show up in training. He submitted transfer requests, sent out a letter publicly on social media explaining himself and his stand with the club to the fans, and then got his locker cleared out by the club, which was a big disrespect to him, for a player of his caliber in that team. They emptied his locker. trying to send a message to him. But he also has not returned back into the squad as at right now. And there have been some conversations, in the background with Atalanta and some agencies who are trying to look for club for Ademola Lookman somewhere in the EPL or outside of um, Serie A. But that has not really materialized, to the extent that it's become an advanced conversation with these clubs. And there's also a report that Ademola Lookman is not even interested in, um, in accepting any club or any offer from any club from these agencies who are affiliated with Atlanta and are looking for a club outside of Italy for him, because his mind is already set towards joining Inter Milan. And based on the reports, it said that he just wants only Inter Milan and no other club at this point. But that's like a breach of contract or whatever it is, management, because they are saying it was part of the agreement, it was part of the contract that they told Lukman that he would not be allowed to sign for another club inside the same league, and they are not willing to, you know, let that just slide and allow him get his wish because they want him to be happy or something like that, you know. So it's really very dicey for him. And a couple of uh, days we are going to see what happens. Maybe Atlanta will finally decide to just allow this man to go to a rival club, because I mean it happens with different clubs. We've seen it. Chelsea do sell club players to Arsenal, who are their rivals. Arsenal sells to Man U. Man City right now. So Man City are talking about selling their one of their best players, Salvino, to Tottenham. So I think these kinds of clauses that include a player not a club not selling their player to a rival team, it doesn't really make a lot of sense, because at the end of the day, it's the player that's the most when these kinds of clauses are included in player contracts. And that's precisely why Demola Lookman is in the position that he is right now. He has refused to train with the squad, been more or less sent on exile, and treated like he is a nobody in that team. But hopefully, this is going to be sorted out before the season starts. But again, as we know, we have a game today. The Super Eagles Team B, Coach Eric Shell will be hoping to get his first win in this competition after having lost the first one to the defending champion Senegal. He's going to hope to keep the hopes of qualifying alive by winning this game, and then later on this Tuesday we have the last group game against Chad. So we'll keep our fingers crossed. Formation is going to come out very soon, because the match is around 6 p.m. And then we'll see who makes the lineup. Hopefully, he doesn't field all of those Remo Stars players at the same time, because that's going to be very awkward. These guys were the same people that played the last time. They didn't really get the result for us.